I always wanted to be able to lead Chicago Bulls from the bottom to the top.
The Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
The motivation was to show people that the first time wasn't a fluke, that we were going to be on top for a long period of time, and this is a way to put a stamp on that, and to do it twice gives us some legitimacy as a franchise.
And let the celebration begin here in the Windy City.
The Bulls have repeated.
A couple teams, the Lakers and Detroit, both were in situations where they could have won 3 in a row. This is our opportunity to show that we can do something that Magic Johnson and Detroit Pistons never did.
For the 3rd year, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls have climbed the Mount Olympus of the NBA.
To get back on top, and to do it in a fashion that you alleviate all the questions that people had about your skills and your leadership qualities, and to, more or less just say, hey, we're back.
After a 2-year absence, the Chicago Bulls have regained the NBA throne.
It's getting tougher, just from facing all the different challenges of staying on top. It's like the king of the hill. I mean, everybody's going to be coming at you and trying to knock you off. But each time you win, it's more gratifying, that you withstood all the challenges, and yet here you are again, right back on top. So we look forward to doing that again.
Fresh off last year's championship and an NBA record 72 wins, the Chicago Bulls seem to have little left to prove as they enter the 1996-97 season.
We tried to take some pressure off our team, so we started out very, very slow this year. Single practices in training camp, some days off, and we said, don't worry about getting off to a great start. And we got off to the best start we've ever had as a franchise.
Harper to Jordan. Leads.
Bushler and Jordan take it away. Jordan. He did give it to him ultimately.
Chicago beginning to kick on all cylinders now.
Scotty in the middle. Oh, yeah, Scotty hard to the basket.
Hit is red hot.
MJ's on that side.
Whoa, yes, sir.
Thanks. Oh, what a great play by Scotty.
Oh, great look.
The fans in this building loving it.
Michael in backcourt with 4, with 3, with 1. The shot is good. If it goes, that's good, baby. Michael got it. It's going to be that kind of afternoon for MJ.
The Bulls opened the season an amazing 17-1, and as always, the main catalysts were Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Everything has been special because we've tried to take it to a higher level to become the greatest duo to ever play the game.
Michael was capable of incorporating Scotty's abilities and telling him, sometimes you got to help me out, and some nights I'm not going to have it. I'll help you out if you don't have it, and we'll tag team this thing together.
These guys have played together so long, they know every move that they're going to make.
When I walked away from the game for 2 years, Scotty was exposed to what I had to deal with. So when I came back, there was a certain understanding, and we grew close. And you can see that within the way that we play.
And with their 2 leaders more in sync than ever, the Bulls continued their blazing start. They had a league best record of 42-6 entering All-Star Weekend, where Jordan and Pippen were honored as 2 of the league's 50 greatest players.
Let us salute together the greatest NBA players of all time.
And fittingly, they would share an historic moment.
Here's Jordan with an opportunity. Has Pippen in. There it is. Triple-double from Michael Jordan. The first ever in the history of the NBA All-Star Game.
But it wasn't only Chicago's superstars who had a chance to shine.
Steve Kerr is on fire.
He is on
fire. He may not miss.
This is the biggest, the money ball.
Oh, yes.
And this year's All-Star Weekend three-point shooting champion, Steve Kerr.
Kerr highlighted the importance of the Bulls' role players, who each make their own contribution to the team's success.
I think a lot of it is Phil's philosophy of using the bench, using all 12 guys, having everybody feel like a big part of it. And as a result, you know, kind of making the team more than just the sum of its parts.
Oh, yeah. Wow, sensationally done.
There are so many outstanding role players on this Chicago Bull team.
When players have something to offer a team, a coach has to recognize their individual talents and what they can give to a basketball club. So I like to make everybody feel like they have a role that they can play on this team.
Beautifully done. Unselfish teamwork.
When you feel wanted and you feel needed, it inspires you to play better, thus making you more wanted, more needed.
With their unique blend of talent and teamwork, the Bulls were stampeding their way through the season and having fun doing it.
Sensational. Inside Dennis. Great pass for Luke, who slams it. Kerr goes down low for Luke. Bounce pass. Great pass to Randy Brown. Rodman looking long. Throws it to Tony. It's on line. Hello, Tony! Randy Brown started to slow it down, brings it inside. Oh, yeah. Pass inside. Jason putting on a show for the fans here.
Kerr to Rodman.
Oh, there it is.
Back door to Pip on the reverse.
Yes! And no, he did not have the handle, but somehow made it go. 44 for Pippen, career high. Rodman. Full extension trying to haul that in. Chief, look. Brother, give it back. Hammer down for the Chief. How about that? Let it fly, let it fly. Nice. Great pass. Nicely done. Jason with a steal. Picks it up. See if he can go all the way. Cappy goes down. Off the glass. Got it. Counted and he's fouled. What a ball game for Jason Cappy. Pippen to Jordan. Time winding down for the win. Yeah! You can't believe it. He does it again. Michael Jordan. A game winner. Get the bucket.
But as the season entered its final weeks, the joy that had seemed to envelop the Bulls would now begin to evaporate. They encountered the first major roadblocks in their drive to repeat as champions, losing several of their key players to injuries.
We had everything, I guess, working against us because we had a lot of injuries and guys out of the lineup here and there, and it was tough.
To help fill the void, they signed free agent Brian Williams, who had not played all season.
Williams, he'll go up inside Biscuit at point-blank range.
Gotta finish that play.
The team that had been a juggernaut had suddenly begun to falter.
We had a bunch of guys on the floor that hadn't played together, and the chemistry and the feeling that we've had on the court wasn't there, and we struggled.
With 5 left, Jordan for the tie. Didn't happen. Cavaliers got it done. 73-70. Fewest points by a Chicago basketball club since 1995.
It's Jordan against Starks. Jordan on the drive, gives it up. Pippen for 3. The Knicks have defeated the Bulls. The Bulls do not make it back-to-back 70-win seasons.
What had begun with all the makings of another record-setting season had ended in doubt, and the timing could not have been worse.
Suddenly, our season was tilted and ajar, and we never really had an intact group. The very last month, it was going to be a push to just get going in the playoffs.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bulls basketball at the United Center as we get the playoffs underway in round 1, game 1.
Determined to put their late season slump behind them, the Bulls opened the playoffs against a young and hungry Washington Bullet team, out to make a bold statement against the defending champions.
Howard kept it alive. Bullets controlling the offensive board. His weapon on the hook.
But in Game 1, Washington's hopes of an upset would be snuffed out by the Bulls' suffocating defense.
By Scotty. Oh, he had lunch with the metric. Strickland. Murray comes over the back, but hangs on. Up the floor, scouting from, needs the basket.
5 minutes. Howard pumps it out. Murray. Blocked by Pippen. Blocked again. Rodman dives for it. 24.
Well, this is playoff defense at its best.
We felt like that, our defense was key tonight, and that's what you need in the playoffs. We had to put on our defense to kind of pull this one off.
Undaunted, the confident Bullets stayed close again in Game 2. But they had no answer for the Bulls' leader, who was simply unstoppable.
It's going to be that kind of afternoon for MJ.
He's putting on a show here. I'm telling you, this has been some kind of offensive performance by Michael Jordan.
He's adding to the legend today.
Jordan would burn the Bullets for 55 points and carry the Bulls to victory in spectacular style.
Extraordinary playoff performances in the history of the NBA.
I got into that zone, if you want to call it, and I couldn't get out. And I apologize to Tex after the game. Sorry about the triangle, Tex. I kind of forgot about the triangle, and once I got in that mode, I just couldn't turn it off.
But back home in Washington, the Bullets would not go quietly and had the champs on the ropes late in Game 3.
Sometimes we're down 17 or 18 and feel to say, hey, we got these guys right where we want them. Don't worry about anything. We come back and win those games. The guys on our team just know how to win.
Charging back from a 9-point deficit in the final 5 minutes, the Bulls still found themselves in need of some last-second heroics.
95-94, Bullets by 1. Michael off the dribble, darts to the lane, went in the air, lost it. Scotty got it back. Pippen a drive, good, the dunk, and he's fouled! And the Bulls win it, and the Bullets go home. The Bulls go on, they sweep the Bullets on a drive and a dunk by Scottie Pippen.
Lying in wait in the second round were the Atlanta Hawks, a team eager to shatter the Bulls' championship mystique. And as the series began, Chicago's doubts resurfaced as they once again seemed vulnerable.
The Atlanta Hawks playing energized basketball and causing problems for Phil Jackson.
Bulls really look out of sorts right now.
The aggressive Hawks quickly proved they were not in awe of the Bulls dynasty.
Hip dunk is a beauty by Mutombo. Well, the Bulls just look dispirited now. They look like their hearts aren't even in this.
Handing Chicago its first home playoff loss in 14 games, Atlanta would steal the home court advantage.
The Atlanta Hawks stun the Chicago Bulls here in Game 2.
We're just kind of down for us energy-wise. We're not executing, but unless we do the things that we've done all season to get 69 wins, and we're not going to pull another win out of this series.
And in Atlanta, the Hawks gained even more confidence, taking an early lead in Game 3.
All the Atlanta fans were going crazy. We were down 10 midway through the second quarter, and we were a little unsure of ourselves. We just didn't quite have it.
Smith, wide open left side. The three, score!
Atlanta, they are jacked up as they have dominated this game.
Great concern on the part of the Chicago Bulls.
Well, we just weren't playing Bulls basketball, and it was tough. But Michael and Scotty stepped up and showed great leadership, and we started to get things rolling a little bit.
As they had done so many times before, Jordan and Pippen would bring the Bulls back.
Long lead for Michael. MJ catches, back to Pippen, running in, layup good.
The Bulls, they're now turning it up a little bit.
The Bulls have suddenly shown some life.
The first game of Atlanta, I think we really needed Scotty and Michael, the leaders of the team, are always there, and they pushing us.
And the rest of the team would follow their lead.
Tony, three. Tony fires. Score! Wow! Kukoc. Wow! Lead pass, Pippen. Scotty for Brian Williams, and he dunks it.
The Bulls had now broken the game open, and it was left to Jordan to provide the finishing touch.
Left-handed wraparound. Good for Michael Jordan.
The Hawks appearing to have run out of gas.
The Bulls would see this game as a turning point.
We seemed to have a breakthrough, and we went on to a 20-point victory. I think we sort of broke through some barriers there and started to play much better after that game.
The rejuvenated Bulls would now finish off Atlanta.
Three, a huge
it.
The energy, everything has been picked up by the Bulls. Rodman for three. The Bulls on fire again.
They're just picking the Hawks apart now. The world champions playing like they want to repeat.
Outstanding
Oh, what a pass by Dennis.
Wow.
That could be the nail in the coffin.
Emphatically closing out the series, Jordan would send one final message to the upstart Hawks.
Oh, he did it! And Michael shakes the finger.
He said I never dunked on him, and I said, well, I'm gonna eventually get to you before I leave the game. And tonight was a great time for it.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome once again to Bulls basketball. The Bulls and the Miami Heat about set to square off here at the United Center.
The crowd is excited. This ought to be a fun series.
Throughout the year, one team we never wanted to lose to was Miami.
Over the season have, really developed a real strong rivalry with them. Their physical play really brings out the best in us.
And the Bulls would counter Miami's muscle with their own overpowering display of defense.
Ryan Williams for three. Out. Rebound Mourning knocked out. No good. Mourning again short.
Luke was big on that defensive play.
I don't think that people really realize how well the Chicago Bulls can defend. Miami was a big test for us, but our guys, showed that they could step up and play, the tremendous D.
Steve Kerr took it away. Backs it in. Back inside. Dennis for the block.
We know at one stage during the basketball game that we're going to just hold you down.
Smothering the Heat, Chicago captured the first two games and rode their wave of momentum right into Miami, where their opportunistic defense would get them off and running, and they never looked back.
Now Jordan with the move on Hardaway.
Blowing out the Heat in their own building, Chicago had taken a firm grip on the series and learned some valuable lessons as well.
Gonna come up over the top of him. The shot's good.
We figured out how to not go macho for macho against them, but, play within yourself, play your game, meet their intensity, but don't let them take you out of what you're trying to do on the court.
Having been embarrassed by the Bulls, Miami was in desperate need of a rallying cry for Game 4, and they would get it from their leader, Alonzo Mourning.
We will win on Monday. We're going to win on Monday.
The Heat would take command right from the start, with Mourning eager to deliver on his bold guarantee.
That's what the Miami Heat have been looking for. Alonzo's open left side, slams it in. This is just what the Chicago Bulls wanted to stop in this whole series.
We felt they tried to take our manhood, they beat us up, they pounded on us.
Heat aren't going away without a fight.
Alonzo Mourning was doing a lot of talking the entire series, and when he elbowed Scotty and Scotty got that bump on his head, I think Michael kind of took it personally.
And I think that set Michael off. So when he came back into practice after that weekend on Tuesday, he said, guys, this one's a personal test. When we come out there today, I want this game to be a grudge match.
It's personal, but I've been saying, you gotta go out and play with a lot of intensity, a lot of heart. Let's go.
And from the beginning, Jordan would serve notice to the Heat that he was on a personal mission.
Yeah, score it for Michael Jordan. Jordan with a dribble. Pull up for Sean Leonard. Yes! Michael Jordan is on fire.
And even though Scottie Pippen would be forced out of the game early with an injured foot, the rest of the Bulls would help Michael finish his mission.
Bushwell is there. The Chicago bench done the job.
Happy.
Strong
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Took it to the hoop and threw down a slammer.
Their collective will had lifted them once more.
Look at Tony. He is pumped up.
And with their emotional triumph, the Bulls would convincingly wrap up the series and steamroll their way to the finals.
Crowd is on its feet. The Bulls are going to the finals.
Yes, sir.
It's good to be conference champions, but, to come up short doesn't really mean nothing. We want to get all the way to the ring and, make it 5, go on from there.
Awaiting the Bulls in the finals were MVP Karl Malone, John Stockton, and the Utah Jazz, who had finally become Western Conference champions.
John Stockton!
It's over. We're on our way to the World Championship.
We fought a long time to get here. We didn't just come here just to show up. We came here to play, and as long as we as a team believe in ourselves and believe that we can beat these guys, we can.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Chicago for the NBA World Championship Game 1. It should be a dandy.
Yeah, we're taking it. We're taking it.
They're going to win it tonight.
Trying to win one for the thumb, the 5th time in 7 years, and now they go against the amazing Utah Jazz with John Stockton and Karl Malone.
Lamb Pilgrim, Game 1 Pilgrim.
You couldn't have asked for a better matchup, especially with Sloan's ties to Chicago.
How you doing?
And it's hard to go against Michael Jordan and home court advantage, but with a subpar Scottie Pippen, I think Utah has an excellent chance to grab one of these first 2 games.
Control Stockton. That means everybody get your eye on him. Make sure you see him where he's at on the court. They'll get the ball to him right away.
This is what you work hard for. What time is it? Game time!
Since the dawn of spring, the Utah Jazz have been the best basketball team in the NBA. They're ready, and there's no excuses from Utah.
Congratulations.
This series features the NBA's most valuable player and the guy who many feel should have won this year's MVP award.
Relax. I'm not going to fool you. I'm not going to fool you. Relax. Relax. Relax.
And from the beginning, the Jazz were determined to make it clear that they belonged on the NBA's biggest stage.
That's exactly the type of ball that Utah has to play.
Karl Malone, got it by Rodman, a following 15-footer by the mailman, good!
As Utah grabbed an early lead, the Bulls struggled to chip away the rust of a 5-day layoff.
The Bulls are off to a very shaky start.
It's Phil Jackson, a little upset that the team didn't come out with more intensity.
Hey, let's get ourselves together on this. Light them up.
And in typical Chicago fashion, it was the Bulls' defense that provided them with a spark.
Bushler with the steal. And the rebound handled by Carr. Traveling violation. What a play by Hoffer.
Same thing you get, John. You didn't call it, though. But I don't want to hear that. Same thing you get.
The Jazz clung to a slim lead as Game 1 evolved into a classic battle, with the superstars from each team rising to the challenge.
Here's Jordan.
Going to pull it up, fadeaway, 14-footer's good. Michael.
Come on! Fight for the Bulls!
And Harper battles through it a second time. Now Malone rolls past it.
Yeah! Yeah, boy! Way to go, Carl!
The Bulls, however, would get an unexpected lift from a determined Scottie Pippen.
Pippen is showing some signs despite the foot injury.
Flashes to the top. Taken away by Pippen, who blocked Russell. An easy layup. The place will explode. Scottie Pippen has really sorry now.
Jordan putting moves on Isley and pops it out. Pippen for three.
Yes! Pippen with the three-point bomb. What an incredible basketball game.
This is it, my man. This is what you work hard for. Have fun.
In the closing minutes, with the outcome hanging in the balance, the stage was set for a dramatic finish, and each team's leading men would again step forward.
They've got it right there. Back to the basket.
The ball down low left into Jordan. Jordan box in. 1 horn a set. Michael left to right. Fall away. 15-footer.
Good. Chicago leads.
Utah needs to play with poise here.
Goes right side. Back to the mailman. Faking. Driving. Force it up and in. Great move on the underhand scoop. The Jazz lead 79-78.
Rebounded by Hoffer.
Back to Pippen for three.
Pippen three. Leads us good. Pippen with a three. It's 81-79. It can't get any better than this.
Stockton circles. Looking.
Left and wide right. Stockton down low to Antron. Back to Stock. Three-pointer. He got it. He got it. John Stockton.
The Jazz by one. 82-81.
It's going to be whoever has the ball last.
Chicago's got to be concerned, folks.
Stockton off the dribble. Stockton, top of the key. Stockton jacks one and missed it. Long rebound, Malone.
Malone's got it. 9 seconds. There's a loose ball foul. It's on Rodman.
That puts Karl Malone to the line with the game tied at 82.
Malone now with the first free throw. Takes his time. The crowd frantic behind the glass. No, he missed it. It rimmed out.
Now the Bulls with an opportunity.
One more for Karl Malone. 9 seconds left in this game.
Just make sure you follow through and don't short arm him.
He misses. You've got to get this rebound. Malone.
Oh, he missed the break. Rebounded by Jordan. And the Bulls take a timeout.
Bulls get a last chance. 7 5/10 left.
What do you think Phil Jackson is thinking about? Will it automatically be Michael Jordan?
I think it'll go to Michael Jordan and then let him create.
Bulls basketball, a chance to win it right here.
Kukoc has got the ball inbounds from Pippen, and here is Michael. 4 on the shot clock now. Keeps it on the dribble. Russell's there.
MJ, top of the circle against Russell. Michael hangs, fires, scores! Knock it in, Bulls win! He knocked it in at the buzzer, Bulls win! How many times has he done that?
It is all over. The Chicago Bulls have won at the buzzer.
If somebody asked you to name your 3 favorite, or the 3 you remember best?
1982 is easy. Cleveland is certainly easy. That's the only 2 I can remember. I'm getting senile, I guess. I've had so many, I can't even remember them all.
It's been 72 hours since Michael Jordan performed the latest in a career filled with heroics, and players and fans have waited anxiously for this Game 2 of the best of 7.
After their heartbreaking loss in Game 1, the Jazz looked to bounce back. But on this night, they'd face a Chicago team that was hitting on all cylinders.
Chicago coming down, up a couple of field goals, and greedy for more. Longley's going to lay it in. Slam dunk. Chicago playing like the champions.
Michael the assist. Turn up the energy.
What a beginning.
It's all falling apart for the Jazz right now.
20-second timeout. They're just going to have to totally regroup.
Reeling from Chicago's onslaught, the Jazz try to fight their way back.
Stockton looking in to Karl Malone. Crowd's got a twist right. Look at score.
Utah battling away.
Hornacek fires one up and hits.
Yeah, boy! Yeah! And who knows what's going to happen here.
But the Bulls had all the answers, and they would find a way to stop the Utah surge.
Straight across, slipping Hornacek back. Playing Hornacek, Stockton, and Malone in a triangle.
Any hopes of a Jazz rally quickly faded, as their finely tuned offense was completely shut down.
Up top to Malone. Karl dumped inside. Russell's all alone. Blocked by Pippen.
It is Chicago's defense which is authoring the story here in Game 2.
Ball rejected.